What's up everybody, it's RobinGaming here. So of course yesterday with the big press conferences at Gamescom 2014, a lot of people asked me why I didn't get to put out my Microsoft review. Well, basically to give you the answer there, I had been busy all night to get those two videos to you, also do the live stream and stuff. Basically just had me busy, you know, the whole 6 hours or whatever, so I simply wasn't able to get it out there. And I thought that today it might probably have been a bit too irrelevant now to do my review of the Microsoft press conference. So I thought, why not do some kind of versus video where we put the Sony press conference against that one of Microsoft, and then yeah, I will ultimately give you my opinion on which one I thought was the better one, you know, where the big surprises were in my eyes, and yeah, all in all what I just enjoyed more. So what I did is I divided the press conferences in a few categories: the news that we heard, the indie / small games that we saw, AAA games, and some third-party stuff that we saw as well. Now, I have to say that yesterday I might have been a little harsh on Sony when I did my review there, because putting everything on paper right now, the Sony list is actually quite significantly bigger, and that surprised me. But yeah, we did see a lot of games there, of course. Let me just start off with the quick news category. So what Sony announced is, of course, 10 million sales for the PS4. They announced some details on the PlayStation 4 2.0 update, which allows you to like, what did they call the feature? I think it's called share play, where you can you know, basically, for example, take over your friend's game and play the game for him while you're not even sitting on the same couch. No, you're just you know, in your own home. You can basically take over his screen, which is quite awesome. And they announced the release date for PlayStation TV. Microsoft, on the other hand, had some details in the Halo 5 and the Evolve beta, which, you know, wasn't too interesting. But I think what they really did, and what kind of blew me away, was the whole bundle announcements that they had. Not only did they have a Call of Duty Advanced Warfare bundle plus a 1TB hard drive for $499. No, they also showed us Sunset Overdrive bundles and FIFA 15 bundles that will both retail for only $399, very comparable to a normal PlayStation 4. So what they really did there, and what I was really surprised by, is offer you right now more value when you're getting an Xbox One than when you're getting a PS4, because you're getting an extra game plus the console for the same price as just the PS4, which I think is a really great move there, and I gotta give them a lot of credit for that. So the indie / small games, of course, that's a front where Sony won hands down, because, you know, that whole show almost seemed to be purely about the indie games. They had the Tomorrow Children, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, Hollow Point, Alienation from the creators of Resogun, of course also some info on DayZ coming to PS4, which surprised quite a lot of people, whereas Microsoft, well, they actually did have quite a good amount as well. It just wasn't, you know, up to par. Games that they showed that really interested me was Below and Super Hot, this kind of like first-person shooter thing that looked very weird, but at the same time quite interesting as well. And they had Scream Ride, which I think comes from the creators of Roller Coaster Tycoon and stuff. So it was, yeah, you could see there's like roller coasters in the trailer. It seemed very fun, but we don't really know what it is yet. Like I said, on that front, Sony just showed way more stuff for sure. On the AAA side though, which I think, to be honest, is the most important side for these press conferences where you have so many people watching, Microsoft blew us all away with their announcement that Rise of the Tomb Raider is going to be exclusive on the Xbox One, at least when the game comes out in 2015. No doubt it's going to be a timed exclusive, and it will come to PS4 and PC later on, but still, yeah, quite a bummer for the Tomb Raider fans there, and something that, you know, they will surely sell a lot more, you know, Xbox Ones with, because yeah, this is a big announcement to get such a huge franchise exclusive for your platform, at first at least. That is just, you know, that's great for them. Of course, they had the Master Chief Collection, which we already, you know, saw before, and, you know, it's just a remakes of the previous Halo games, not really that interesting to me. Fable Legends, you know, looked great. Sunset Overdrive had a new trailer. That game is going to be awesome. What they blew me away with personally was Quantum Break, which I've said from the beginning is going to be the game that will make me want to buy an Xbox One at some point in the future. And seeing this trailer surely, you know, made me want that, because the combination of the big third-person action with that you know, slowing down time, are actually completely making it stand still, and of course the great story we are used to from Remedy games, you know, Alan Wake, Max Payne they made, of course. they can make really awesome games. And I thought Quantum Break, you know, I myself thought it looked amazing. I saw some people who said it was a bit too generic of a third-person shooter. I can understand that, but, you know, like I said, the story is something we haven't heard too much yet about, and we know it's kind of like going to be, it's going to have this TV series thing where you can actually watch episodes in between or something. We all still got to find out how that works, but the game surely has me very interested. Sony on the other hand showed Until Dawn, which we knew was going to be coming. Tearaway Unfolded, which initially disappointed me because I hoped to see Media Molecule's new IP, and they seem to be teasing that, but we didn't get that. They had trailers for, you know, these upcoming games that are going to be amazing. Bloodborne, Little Big Planet 3, The Order 1886. But what they did is they didn't show them in the middle or at the end of the show, but rather actually even before really starting, which, you know, to be honest, didn't, you know, they didn't just put the attention on that, the focus on that, and that was really a shame. I already discussed that in my review. On the other hand, though, they did have some games, some AAA stuff as well that will be coming to other platforms. But hey, we saw the, you know, exclusive debut here at their show. That was Hellblade. PT, which is supposed to be the next Hideo Kojima horror game, is actually supposed to be some kind of Silent Hill game from what I heard so far and what I saw. You can play like a demo, I think, if you download it from the PlayStation Store. I did that, might play it in the future, but yeah, had a lot of people very excited about it because that came as a complete surprise to see a new Silent Hill game. And at the end, they also had Wild from Michel Ancel, the big creator of Rayman Legends, which I'm sure is going to be amazing. It was just that, you know, if I really look at the AAA stuff, Sony there once again actually had more and more exciting and surprising stuff. But the way I really see it is that Microsoft just had the two biggest games in terms of AAA stuff, and that was Quantum Break, and that was the announcement of Rise of the Tomb Raider. That was better than anything we saw at Sony, really, in my eyes at least. And yeah, I think that's really where Sony lacked, those really big announcements. At the end, they also, of course, had some third-party stuff that we know is going to be coming to all platforms. Microsoft showed a new trailer for Assassin's Creed Unity. Sony had new trailers for Destiny, Far Cry 4, Metal Gear Solid 5 and Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, so there they also had some more stuff. But in the end, I already said it in the beginning of the video, I think I've been a little too harsh on Sony maybe, because if you do compare it and put it side to side, you will see that Sony actually did have more games that they showed off, more announcements, but at the same time, what I really take away from all of this is that Microsoft had the bigger announcements in terms of the bundles, in terms of what you know, the gameplay debut of Quantum Break, and of course Rise of the Tomb Raider coming as a timed exclusive on Xbox One. That's just, you know, that's just stuff that Sony did not have in the end, and that is why I would personally give the slight edge to Microsoft. Of course, I don't even own an Xbox One. I have a PS4. I'm looking at this completely, you know, objectively from my personal perspective, and I'm going to give Microsoft the slight edge simply because of the big announcements, whereas I was disappointed because I expected a little more, you know, from Sony. We saw some stuff that they in the end didn't give too much attention towards. No, they rather focused on the indies, and that was kind of disappointing to me. But yeah, both of course were just good shows in the end, I guess. And of course, I would like to know from you, which conference won for you? Do you think the Microsoft one was the better one, or the one from Sony, and why exactly? Just let me know that in the comments, and then for now I'd like to thank you a lot for watching, and hope to see you again next time.